So we're entering the final countdown for XDefiant ahead of its launch, finally. After a year of delays and waiting, this time next week we'll be on the precipice of playing as much as we want, kicking off the game's first year of support the following day. So today, as we gear up for that, we're made aware of some new details on what to expect in the meantime in that week leading up to launch. So as we go along, drop your thoughts on what you would like to see detailed in the coming days for XDefiant, or if there's anything you're happy to see already revealed in regards to what's upcoming this next week. If you enjoy the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and make sure to subscribe for more XDefiant coverage ahead of the launch upcoming and everything beyond. I'd love to have in the community, but for now, let's get into it. So let's start out with this calendar of events. First, we're safe for a few days here in regards to new information. Currently, we've been just seeing basic recaps of the factions, about one per day. So I'm assuming that's going to keep us going here until we see our first reveals, which isn't until the 16th. Now, the 16th, that being this Thursday, we'll see a new launch trailer and the availability for preloads starting on all platforms. Now, that new trailer is just likely going to be showcasing everything we'll see in the game. If it's anything like industry standards for launch trailers, it's just going to be a little hype piece of marketing that's about like 2 minutes long or something. It'll showcase a little bit of everything coming, which, as we discussed, is a lot of the stuff we've already interacted with. It shouldn't really include any new modes, maps, weapons, or factions until Season 1, so probably everything you'll see in this trailer is familiar and what you've played recently, most recently in that server test session. Now, preloads are obviously the biggest part here about this, because that will give you a whole 5 days to preload the game so that even on the worst connections, you should be able to get the game downloaded and ready to go in that time. I'd assume this is simply accessible via platform storefronts on Xbox and PlayStation and Ubisoft Connect via PC, but you'll be able to download it and install it and have it ready to go the moment the servers open up, which is right now 10 a.m. Pacific time on the 21st. Now, it has been mentioned that if you had any of the prior betas, anything that wasn't this most recent server test session, that you should be able to keep that and it'll in turn just turn into the application for XDefiant. So you want to make sure that you double check if that's the case if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, that you don't have to re-download it per se. But anyways, the next day, Friday the 17th, we'll see a new debrief for the preseason. They say it's an episode, so I'm curious if it's like a dev blog video going up on their socials that's more of a deep dive into some of the content we'll be seeing upcoming, maybe some teasers of future content in Season 1 and a bit more beyond, but mainly just game news, details, and updates. Seemingly, it might even be the start of a new series that they may be doing, the way it's listed on the images associated with the announcement. That branding kind of seems like it's going to be something that is a regular cadence of dev blogs and sort of XDebriefs, as they call them. Following that, the weekend will be off, it appears, as the studio is kind of just taking a little bit of rest before a launch crunch, I'd imagine, and then we'll get more stuff picking back up on Monday the 20th. But before we jump into the mention of that kind of stuff, full transparency, if there's anything that happens from the 15th to the 19th, I won't be able to cover that until a little bit later, which might not even happen because my content schedule for XDefiant's launch next week is already pretty much locked in. I'm traveling this weekend for a bachelor party and we'll be in Vegas, and just about forcing myself to not think about work and instead think about how much money I'll be losing. Okay, hopefully not actually, but trying to take a bit more time off mentally as well as physically before an insanely busy next couple of weeks between XDefiant's launch, the COD 2024 reveals, and a bit more stuff upcoming. But I do apologize in advance that if any breaking news happens, we won't be available to cover it besides pre-scheduled content on the channel during that span. But anyways, picking back up on the 20th, we'll have a Battle Pass trailer dropping, which I'm curious to see what all that will entail, because it's a trailer, not a showcase, but I'd wager that it's just a smaller, like minute-long thing here that'll just allow a quick little brief glimpse at what's coming cosmetically for the preseason. Again, just to reiterate, the preseason is scheduled to last 6 weeks after the launch of the preseason, so this Battle Pass will be on a shortened timer by comparison to the 3-month spans you'll be seeing over the other 90-tier Battle Passes in coming Seasons 1 to 4 and that year 1 of support. So we'll have to see how many tiers this has and what all you need to accomplish in the meantime, but that'll be debuted on Monday. And then finally, Tuesday, we'll end up seeing the launch of the game and a few other things. Naturally, the biggest thing is, of course, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. in the UK, and elsewhere in the world by comparison, the game will go live. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to onboard the servers a little earlier and it opens up a few more hours or so to allow an ease in the player population to grow rather than inundate servers all at once, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. But additionally, on the 21st, they'll also be putting up a tips and tricks blog going out, it sounds like, and then the conclusion of the All-Star Series, which is just a bunch of former COD and other FPS pros and devs all competing on a simple marketing competitive tournament. And that That's your roadmap leading to the launch of XDefiant in just a little bit more than exactly a week from now. Now that said, that's some cool stuff to look forward to and everything, but honestly, there's still a lot of stuff that I haven't seen personally laid out in regards to any information upcoming. And for that kind of stuff, I'd personally love to see details on camos and the camo grind as a whole. That's one thing that I do love about pre-launch with Call of Duty the last couple of years. They've detailed mastery camos and just the camo systems as a whole a couple of days before the game actually launches. I'd love for that kind of stuff to happen within XDefiant, because that's going to be one of the things that I'm absolutely going to be grinding out in that game. I'd love to see what kind of camos there are, how you obtain the masteries. In the beta, it was something that you had bronze, silver, and gold camo all associated with weapon levels, where bronze was level 100, silver was 200, and gold was 300. Is that going to be the entirety of the weapon grind? Is there going to be something like a camo that you get for completing every single weapon, getting all of those gold? We don't quite know, but I'd love to see that kind of stuff detailed. Additionally, I'd love to see a progression system of some kind mentioned. We know we're not going to have any sort of prestige system until at least season 1, but I'd love to know the basics on the prestige system as a whole. Like, up until that point, the preseason, is it uncapped versus capped? Like, will you be able to go to level 1,000, or can you go up to like 10,000 theoretically? Are there going to be career levels that track from now until the end of year 1, the end of time perhaps, where, yeah, you might have like a seasonal prestige or something like that if that's the way they decide to go for it, where you can grind out as many as you want, but maybe they'll add more in or restart it after a season concludes. Is there going to be something that goes parallel to that that shows how much of a grinder you are by comparison? We don't know, but I'd love to know that kind of stuff. I'd love to see some more details on anti-cheat and everything, that the plans to combat cheating and any sort of stuff like that, because it's a free-to-play game. It's gonna happen no matter how much you or I don't want it to. It's gonna happen. It happens with every free-to-play game. It's just kind of the nature of the beast at that point. So how is Ubisoft and the team behind XDefiant going to mitigate that kind of stuff? What about cosmetics and shop details? I want to know details on pricing, if there's going to be individual items versus bundles, if it's going to be like camos or blueprints or stuff like that. Are there going to be player incentives where is there going to be a way to earn X coins rather than just buying them outright? Are you going to be able to get them in the battle pass, other rewards like Twitch drops, or just simply like playing in career levels? That's stuff that I'd love to know, but we don't know if that's going to be detailed or not. So fingers crossed. I mean, if somebody at XDefiant sees this video and you want to answer that kind of stuff, I'd take a blog post on any of that stuff any day. But anyways, I'm sure we'll learn of some of that, if not all of that kind of stuff in the coming days, even if it's not mentioned explicitly. But there you have it. After a year of delays and a long time of waiting, we're finally going to have XDefiant available to play next week, with details coming out just about every day until then. So that is where we're going to wrap the video up. Now, before we do, make sure you check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for what I firmly believe are the best blue light glasses on the market. I've worked with these guys for 3 years now at this point, and I cannot recommend them enough. Especially if you're looking to jump into the XDefiant grind, you want to protect your vision a little bit, these guys are absolutely the ones to help you out. They're the most lightweight, comfortable, and durable frames out there, and I definitely think they've helped my daily productivity. Now, full transparency, they are a bit more of an investment, but I think your vision's absolutely worth investing into. Again, especially if you're like me, you're looking at a monitor, phone, you're gaming, like you might be with the XDefiant launch upcoming for a good chunk of the day. If you guys would like to learn more, at the very least, I'd recommend checking out their website, where they can better break down the science and all the specifics of their product way better than I could. But what I can personally say is I'd highly recommend them. So if you'd like to learn more, check the link in the description below. And if you want to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso to get 10% off your entire order. But for now, that is, we're going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to this upcoming week building up to the launch of XDefiant? Are you looking forward to the launch? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things XDefiant, all things COD 2024, the reveal upcoming there, and a bunch of other FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Finally almost there after a year of delays. I'm excited. So take care and peace.